Hi, I'm Sarah Hokom with Team MVP, and here's my In the Bag. Let's start with putters. For my putting putters, I use an electron ion and an electron spin. The electron ion is used for push putting inside the circle, and then I use the electron spin for any spin putts and also long distance putting up to about 80 feet. For throwing putters, I really like the NVs. I throw both the Cosmic Neutron NV and the James Conrad Electron NVs for approach shots, both sidearm and backhand, anywhere inside about 200 feet. These are an approach game necessity. Let's move on to mids. For my mid-range game, I rely on 3 different molds: the Matrix, the Reactor, and the Pyro. The Electron Matrix gives me a lot of different flight patterns, from the really beat-in gray one that turns very quickly to the left to a slow turn on this purple one. And if I put a brand new one in, it'll be nice and straight. The Reactor follows the same line as a really straight Electron Matrix, a new one, but it gives me a fade at the end and it gives me a little bit extra distance. These seem to have a lot of glide for a mid-range. And then lastly, the Pyro. This is just my workhorse when I need a really predictable fade. This has quite a bit of fade and doesn't go quite as far as my other mids, but it's very reliable in wind or any situations where I really need to put the disc next to the basket. Let's move on to the fairways. My least stable fairway I just put in the bag is the Neutron Ascend. This replaced some of my really beat-in relays that I recently lost. Sad face. And this has a natural turn on a sidearm to the left. So if you don't have much of a backhand and you really like throwing sidearms, but you need something to go left, the Ascend does that right out of the box. You don't even have to beat it in. On to my more neutral mids. I really like the relay in the Neutron plastic. I throw a couple different ones of these. Typically, especially this teal one, thrown flat, it has a nice slow turn. This one is a little bit more stable, the green one, and it'll go a little straighter and hook up at the end, but it follows a very straight path through the air, so it's really great for wooded shots. My most stable fairway is the Neutron Resistor. I use this as a utility disc. It doesn't really go very far, not much further than about 250 feet, but it's also great for wind. It ends up flying really straight in a headwind, and it's very reliable. It doesn't turn very much, so it's a great wind disc. Also, I like to throw this for rollers and tomahawks, so other utility shots, spike hyzers, really predictable flight, easy to throw, doesn't come off the line too far. And now to one of my favorite fairways, also in the neutral category, the Neutron Crave. So there's the Sarah Hokom edition. These are only 6.5 speed, 5 -1 1. So they're very, very straight, but they're very slow. So super controllable, and they'll go very, very straight in almost any condition. I throw several different versions of them, even some of the very old plasma Craves, and even the very newest Vision Crave, which is giving me a little bit extra distance, which I am loving. So definitely grab a Crave. These go very, very straight, excellent for wooded shots or even controlled shots on par 4s where you're trying to really land in a specific area. Lastly, in kind of my fairway / distance lineup, which I consider a hybrid, I throw the Plasma Insanities. And these are a little bit more stable than the regular Insanities, and they give me a beautiful S-turn that doesn't move a lot laterally, so I can throw them in a little bit of woods and still get a distance driver distance. On to the distance drivers. The Trace. I really prefer the Cosmic Neutron Traces because they're just a little bit more stable than the regular Neutrons. But then I also throw a regular Neutron Trace to get some turn and get a really big S-curve when I need a distance shot to go even farther than the regular Cosmic Neutron Traces. The Cosmic Neutron Traces have just a really predictable flight. They don't turn a ton, but they have a nice fade, whereas the Neutrons have quite a bit more turn, but still have the fade. So depending on what you're looking for, you need all of these in your bag. My most stable distance drivers are the Photon. I throw both a Neutron one and the Cosmic Neutron. The Cosmic Neutron flies quite a bit more stable, so I use this for big fades or major heavy headwinds. But otherwise, the Photon gives me a very predictable fade. It doesn't go super far, and it doesn't go over 300 feet, probably more like 280. But it gives me that nice left to right fade at the end of the shot to park the basket if it's on the right side. My next set of distance drivers is the Vanish. I throw them in both the Neutron and the Proton plastic. These are great for a big S-turn. I can also throw them on a hyzer and get a nice flip up, either down a hill or when I don't want to have any movement to the left. These on a hyzer will also give me an extra line in my bag, so they're really useful for a lot of different things. But primarily I'm throwing them flat, they're turning up, and then eventually fading back for a big distance S-curve. This is what I need for tailwinds or anytime I need to throw really far. And my last distance driver is the Neutron Relativity. This is a 14-speed bomber. While I don't throw it a lot into headwinds, whenever I'm throwing downhill, when I need a lot of glide, or if I need to get that extra 20 or 30 feet to get a birdie on a hole, I'll pull out these guys. They go a little bit farther than everything. They have a huge S-turn. They move significantly left to right and end up going farther than anything else in my bag. I'm Sarah Hokom. Thanks for watching my In the Bag.